Dr. K.G. Mallikarjuna, Associate Professor of Economics, Government College for Men, Kurnool, welcomes you to another video lesson on features of Indian economy as a developing country. Lesson prepared earlier, we came to the conclusion that India is still developing or underdeveloped economy, but it is not so. Over the decades, Indian economy is showing many remarkable improvements in many fields. And in fact, India is fast moving on its path of development. The following facts proves that Indian economy is moving very fastly towards development. Rise in the national income of our country. Over a period of 5.5 decades, that is nearly 55 years after independence, Indian national income increased by only 3.4 or 3.5% per annum. In later years, it started recording 5.5% of growth rate. In one moment, that is in 2010, India recorded highest ever GDP growth rate of 11.4%. Now IMF estimates that in forthcoming decade, India is going to occupy the third place only after China and America. And in 2014, India achieved 7% growth rate, which is even higher than China and America. And according to IMF report, Indian per capita income may increase from present $1,719 to $2,358 in 1 year. It means that per capita income of India is going to increase at $160 per year on an average. In its The World in 2050 report, IMF estimated that Indian economy will be in the third position by 2030 as per the per capita income is concerned. On the basis of PPP, that is purchasing power parity, in the forthcoming decades, India is going to occupy the second place, leaving behind the USA. Changes in occupational distribution of population. By occupation distribution, we mean that how the total workforce is divided among different occupations of the country. We know that every economy can be divided into three sectors, three occupations, namely primary sector called as agriculture sector, secondary sector which is industrial sector, and lastly tertiary sector which is also known as service sector. In the early stages of economic development, primary sector was dominating, and so as it is in India also. But as economy moves towards development, the importance will shift from primary sector to the secondary sector and from secondary sector to tertiary sector. Gradually, we can see that the importance of primary sector in our country is slowing down, and its contribution to the total national income is now it is below 13%. Even dependency of population on primary sector is also declining. Once upon a time it was more than 70%, but now it is 50% around. Another remarkable achievement that India achieved in the process of its development is the strong industrial base. We know that at the time of independence, a very few basic and capital good industries existed in the country, but after independence, particularly during the second 5-year plan, priority has been given for the establishment of basic and key industries such as iron and steel industry, heavy chemicals, nitrogenous fertilizers, heavy engineering, machine tools, locomotives, petroleum products, and many more. With the establishment of these type of key and basic industries, Indian industrial base become very stronger. A considerable development in industrialization. Second plan was a turning point in Indian industrial development history. Between 1951 to 65, industrial sector has grown at 8% per annum due to efforts made by the government during second 5-year plan. But the growth of industrial sector fell to 4.1% between 1965 to 80, means that the rate of industrialization slowed down between these two time periods. Again in 1991, industrial sector development boosted due to various government policies like delicensing, location policies, foreign capital restrictions, etc. Liberalization, the industrial sector started growing in double digits again. Between 1995 to 2008, industrial sector grew spectacularly with 11.6% per annum. Fast growing service sector. From first few decades, if you observe the data, various subsectors of the service sector like transport, banking, insurance, e-sevas, etc. are increasing at a very faster rate. Gradually, the number of people depending on this sector, that is service sector, is also increasing, and this sector is spreading abroad also. The contribution of service sector to the total Indian national income is also increasing, and the people were served with wide variety of sophisticated services by this sector. So the transition that is well explained by Simon Kuznets in the process of economic development, that is importance of primary sector to the service sector, is happening very fastly in our Indian economy. Another important improvement that can be observed in Indian economy is increasing exports. India now able to get sufficient foreign exchange reserves from different countries as Indian exports are continuously growing. The value of exports, which were only 947 crores in the beginning of first 5-year plan, that is in the year 1950-51, crossed 2 lakh crores recently. Now India is able to produce wide variety of exports of goods. On one side it is exporting primary goods like spices, edible oils, vegetables, tobacco, etc. And on the other side, now it started exporting modern goods like software projects, engineering goods, etc. Another significant improvement can be observed in case of Indian infrastructural facilities. In a very planned manner, Indian government is developing infrastructure that is required by all sectors. More land is provided with irrigation facilities by constructing different type of projects. Indian Railways, which is the largest in Asia and second in case of network in the world, covering nearly 65,800 kilometers. With the programs like Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, Minimum Needs Program MNP, and Command Area Development Program CADP, it becomes possible to connect nearly 95% of Indian rural areas with roads. It also covers more than 7 lakh kilometers of national highways and 16.39 lakh kilometers of state highways. Airways are also developed through Airport Authority of India, that is AAI, and many greenfield airports of international standards are also developed. Waterways, which bears nearly 29% of the total Indian transport system, also developed parallelly. Telephonic services were extended and internet and broadband services are provided even to the rural areas by the establishment of TRAI, that is Telephone Regulatory Authority of India, which was established in the year 1997. Information sector also experiencing revolutionary improvement with the welcoming private partnership with Tata, Airtel, Vodafone, Reliance, etc. The total number of banks in both urban areas as well as in rural areas has increased. That is, in the year 1969, the total number of bank branches were 8,269, whereas it increased to 1.22 lakh by 2014. The state electricity boards are also able to increase their installed capacity continuously, and that makes the state electricity boards raise their capacity and capability. Lot of improvements can also be observed in case of socio overhead capital. Literacy rate, which is very crucial for achieving economic development from social point of view, society point of view, has increased from 18% in 1950-51 to 74% during 2011. Even female literacy also increased a lot. A considerable improvement can be observed in health services. The number of doctors has increased 10 times, whereas number of hospitals also increased by 6 times between 1951 to 2011. Life expectancy at birth, which was only 41 years in 1951, increased considerably to 68.8 years by 2018. Now 82% of rural and urban population are provided with a safe drinking water. Nearly 9.2 crores of toilets were constructed under the program of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Through various programs like Indira Awas Yojana, Rajiv Griha Kalpa and other schemes, housing facilities for poor people are being provided. Thank you very much for watching this video.